amazing. This is Julio Slim, y'all. Thoughts in my notes off his new album. Take pictures when you move in. Thank you so much for being here for the DAO Hall. We're going to be here every week teaching you about DAOs, learning about DAOs, building DAOs. Let's get it.
Turn this up, I hear a smooth song, I fuck with this beat. All eyes watch the throne while I'm taking my seat. I'm like a barbarian, a Targaryen. Ain't cute when I shoot, but I hit like Sean Marion. It's super slim, sunroof in the coupe again. Recognize the voice, it's all you need to know is him. And his hair's on my chin, slim thick, she like my grin. Tell me when she stay, I'm staying. Juan for the win, till I wander again. And I end up by myself, they saying Juan needs some friends. Nah, Juan need them ends. Plus Juan got his folks that roll smoke. And I was broke, thought that I was down and out, kept me from losing hope. We gon' put it to a vote. Everybody want a dope deal. Dylan in the game, skiing on the slippery slope. I be trying to kick it, shit be wicked, man. The streets vicious. I keep my 40 with me, but they can't.
Alright. I can't give you it all, so I'm gonna play one more song before we get into the DAO Hall, because we're gonna be learning about something called Veteran Lessons. I think Veteran Lessons is a great one. Let's get into it, y'all. Let's have a great week and a great DAO Hall. Veteran Lessons by Julio Slim.
Niggas still doing the same, bluffing, ain't changed nothing. I'm talking funny academic reference. Came pumping up in the game. Hustling ain't the same no more. This an act to bring it back to Bojack. I had to change sports. Yeah, I had to change course. Coke is a hell of a drug. I seen a man snort a whole A-ball. Could see it on his face. Take a break, dog. Running my scheme with Bernie Madoff. Never had a layoff. No days off. I've been up like 30 Adderall. Switch play call. I used to use an Ozatol. Walked outside, see the fiend nodding off. I feel like a boss. They still can't stop me in the field like lacrosse. I'm cool like hockey cause I still wear Lacoste. Just another black man in his tennis shoes. I'm focused on business moves. Give me the cash and I'ma really do it. Package spinny bone. Money open doors up, so if you ain't rich, you go through poor stuff. Live in the sticks, so get your score bus. Time is of the essence. Youngins gather around for some lessons from these veterans. It seems like the whole town's prone to forgetting. You can cast away on your own island like Gilligan. I'm feeling like Milligan. Make sure you cop the CD, pay 10. Can't be cheap, gotta pay attention. Keep depending on me writing my life, I leave it open-ended. Yeah, I ain't been no beginner since a nigga started. When a nigga worked the hardest, can't look back, no such thing as perfect progress.
That, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you all enjoyed that. That was Julio Slim. Take picture when you move in.
Yeah, man, Julio's super talented. I think.
Did you guys hear that? Was the audio good?
Yeah, it's coming through good for me. I think a little bit quiet. I don't know about everybody else, but please, if anyone's got some comments, please go ahead. We're gonna chat. All right, cool. Thank you.
Sadly, I was on mobile and didn't hear a thing. So another time for me.
Oh, it didn't come through for you, Stephen?
No, it's possible because I'm on my mobile. Maybe it's not syncing properly.
Oh, you know what, dude? You have to. So I was sharing my screen. Were you not in the stream?
No, I was not. No, that'll be the reason.
So for future reference, we realized that for me to play the audio, for me to share it, I had to share my screen. So for future reference, I'll play music by sharing screen like that. We'll figure out a way of doing different performances and having different things go as we go along. But I wanted to make sure that at least some people could hear it. But listen, at the end of the call, man, I'm gonna do another Julio Slim performance. So join the stream at the end so you can hear some of the music. I'd love to hear your thoughts.
Yes, indeed. All right. So yeah, if anybody needs to catch up, and if there are any first timers here, we do record all of our DAO halls on YouTube. So if you want to catch up on last session, it's right over here. Big shout out to Julio. So if you like the music at the intro, you can follow him on Twitter and check out all of his amazing work. And good to have you, man. Okay, and we'll just jump right into, there's a few quick project updates and then white paper highlights. So one of the things I did want to go through, particularly for any newcomers to the DAO Hall, is a refresher on our mission and goals. So right now we are constantly evolving the wording on this one. But really, our mission is to make philanthropy provable and profitable, and our DAO is here to govern the proof of good protocol that we're specifying. Short-term or immediate goals are we're aiming to fund $100 million donated to approved charities that are going to be the POG oracles in our DAO charity treasury. We're focused on enabling 1 million people in extreme poverty to gain a living wage and then pass that opportunity to others. We are ramping up so that we can onboard over 1,000 Web3 projects and 100 traditional NGOs as proof of good oracles. And then we're going to align a lot of that impact and data so that it's mapped towards the UN sustainable goals. Big, hairy, audacious goals. We're going to prove that all of the above is possible and then scale that model to all of humanity. And essentially what we're trying to do is create this new value system based on altruism that's going to reward people. And in this process, we're actually spending a lot of time figuring out how the hell do we operate a DAO? What is a DAO? How does this thing actually scale? And how do we actually open source this and then share that with every other DAO that's trying to work on governance? I think there's a responsibility on our part to try and share as much knowledge as possible and really help elevate the rest of the Web3 industry. And in doing so, I think it spreads, true democracy across the planet. That's part of the big, hairy, audacious goals. And so finally, this whole project and this whole Web3 world is enabling us to create all this abundance. So, we're trying to create a world where just being a good person makes you rich. And ultimately, this line enables us to eradicate extreme poverty across the globe and then unlocking the full human potential to accelerate humanity's transition to a sustainable society. This is really what we're here gathered to try and solve together. And I believe that this is very, very possible. So one, thank you for being a part of this. Thank you for being here. We're going to make sure that this whole journey is going to be a very rewarding one, both from an educational, participatory, but also for financial assets. So anyway, I think it's important we refresh on that just in case. And if you have any suggestions or disagreements with what our goals and mission are, you're actually going to be able to propose a change to that via proposals and discussing on the forum. So you are all empowered to further shape where we go with this thing. I did also want to give a quick refresher on the various roles that we're creating within the DAO. So there are going to be a number of different roles and responsibilities for how we govern the DAO, but also the privileges that each role gets via the NFTs and membership. So we have our DAO Core Team. This is like the primary staff that's here full-time and making sure we scale the organization and support the entire community and build a foundation where dozens and hundreds of volunteers can plug in. The DAO co-owners are going to be the owners of the POG packs that we dropped, the Genesis packs, which we are aiming for this Friday to get that live for the claim page. So you get the biggest, POG token drops per month, exclusive Discord channels, exclusive live events or virtual events. You'll have veto rights as well as access to the DAO Core Team's internal Slack, Notion, and G Suite. And in fact, I think we have to work on building out our DAO constitution. So we'll probably have edit rights into the white paper and constitution for the various DAO owners. There's another role here that we haven't gone through in detail in the past. And again, really open to feedback suggestions here. We're kind of co-creating this. But we're essentially going to be establishing the roles of DAO governors. So at the minimum, and some of the best practices with other DAOs are that governors typically have the responsibility of controlling the multi-sig wallet. So multi-sig wallet is basically a crypto wallet that requires multiple signatures, like approvals, in order for money to be transferred or transacted elsewhere. So the governors would actually be responsible to sign transactions from the DAO Treasury. So as all this money flows into the Treasury, we are actually going to be making sure that that budget is spent in accordance with, DAO approval. So governors are going to have this responsibility to make sure that we operate this correctly and make sure no one comes in and just takes all the money essentially. I think there are additional responsibilities that the governors will have in terms of working on strategy, building framework, empowering a team, understanding operational challenges, and making sure that we address them. I think we're going to want to flesh this out a bit more, and this is essentially create the leadership team for the DAO. Because one thing is, as much as we do want to decentralize and empower everybody, you still need good executive decision-making, direction, and strategy. So we do need a team of leads that can help drive the overall vision. So that's what we're going to start to establish as the governors. And then in general, we just want to enable as many people to become members as possible. So reduce the barrier to entry, enable them to have a POG NFT, and then earn some good points and level it up. So each of these, I think we're going to aim to have our own unique NFT memberships to represent the roles that you have. So that's something that we're going to be working on as a core team to build out what that model looks like. Any questions there? If you got questions, like feel free to unmic or just pop some comments into the live stream, or I guess you could slide into DMs if need be. Okay, if there are no questions, it looks like Michaela may have a question here. Oh, okay, cool. Thank you. All right, so just quick updates on dates and where we're at right now. So yeah, sorry about that. Last week we launched our Discourse, which is basically our governance forum. So that's where we're going to be working together, submitting proposals, having discussions. So that's pretty much done now. Whoops, it is actually completed. This Friday, we are aiming to have our Genesis drop take place. And so essentially this is going to be a claim page where if you qualify and are on the good list, you'll be able to get one of the Genesis NFTs. So just make sure you've got your MetaMask wallet ready and have Polygon on MetaMask. We'll have some tutorials and guides up and ready for that before we do the drop, I hope. So yeah, that's going to be the focus for this week and this Friday. So far, it seems like engineering team is feeling pretty good about it. We had to work out some kinks, and then we also had a bit of a delay because there's a death in the family, so we had to push out the date a little bit. So yeah, wishing us luck. Should be able to ship that this Friday. There's some minor text changes we're going to do on the donation page on Leyline, get our security audit in place. But the next big feature will actually be the actual governance tools. So we're going to go through the forums today and get to know Discourse. And then on February 4th or that week, it's not concrete just yet. We do want to launch the actual proposal smart contracts. So on proofofgood.io, we'll have the ability to actually formally make the proposal and formally submit votes using your MetaMask wallet. So that's going to be the next milestone for us. And not much has changed beyond that. As the next steps, we're going to build out the actual proof of good ledger and all the APIs. We're going to start to onboard all the oracles, many of which we're going to start to nominate here even today. And then beyond that is our daily auctions and POG token launch. But this is all kind of TBD. That we're still working internally at the team because there's tons and tons of features and projects that we can work on. But we're just focused right now on these core ones. So that's kind of a quick update on our short-term roadmap.
I have a quick question if my mic's working.
All right. Yes, we can hear you, CryptoTier. Thank you for unmiking. Yeah,
sure. So the voting itself, is it? I guess you might get into that, but it's not on-chain governance built into the DAO or built into the smart contract.
The
voting done outside the smart contract.
No, the voting will be on-chain. That's going to be done via the smart contract. So essentially, we took a fork of the nouns. Nouns DAO. So they've already open sourced all of that, and essentially they got their Discourse, but then in their DAO, you're basically creating that proposal, and all of these are smart contract based. So when you're voting, it will be on chain. Yeah. So essentially,
those, but the proposals are going to be approved by the governors, right? Like, can every holder submit a proposal?
yep, absolutely. Every holder can submit a proposal and can vote. So the general process will basically be, you'll start off by submitting your kind of draft proposal in Discourse, which is our forums, really to kind of get a sentiment on, okay, does a DAO actually, support this idea, before you pull the trigger and then make the formal proposal on the actual governance smart contracts. So at least that way you're not wasting your proposal or a bunch of votes. Like, you kind of get some early feedback. And that's just useful for kind of making sure you're fleshing out the proposal and then ensuring that it doesn't get rejected once it goes live. So this is actually off-chain. Discourse is a forums tool. So that's independent of the smart contracts we deploy for the actual governance and voting.
Right, but the voting itself takes place on chain.
Yes, that's correct. So a lot of what we're doing here is like, oh, go ahead.
Yeah, and so what is the percentage of vote needed to pass a proposal?
Yes, we actually went through this at the last DAO proposal, and we ran a few results for that. So if you want to check out the details, Crypto Tier, this is the results of that discussion and the poll, and I'll link it as well on a live stream channel, so you can kind of look through. And yeah, happy to get any feedback there or suggestions if any of it seems kind of funky. All right, cool. But great questions. Thank you so much, Crypto Tier, and welcome. I think this is your first time, right?
Yeah, it is my first time. Thanks. And
right.
Where is the live feed chat?
It is actually on Discord. If you go to the channel that says live stream,
yeah,
that's the place. All right. Okay, so last part of the intro section here is getting to know some of the core team and DAO members. So I did want to highlight a couple of our volunteers, and just have them introduce themselves, bit of their story, their background, why they're here, what they're passionate about, what they want to accomplish. So I'm going to hand it over to RarRar. RarRar, how you doing?
Thanks. Had a busy day, so I've just grabbed a couple of minutes to sit down with you guys and catch up. And I'm drawing an amazing blank about what exactly all these lovely people would like to hear me say.
Well, tell us about what you are passionate about doing and like to do, what brought you here, and what you'd like to see accomplished.
Sure. What brought me here? I will now blame Chris and Crispy. So I met Crispy through a different project that I'm a CM for, and he got talking about Leyline, and then through Leyline Proof of Good, and I love everything about it, to be honest with you. I think that the idea of being able to make a change in the world for everybody is something that more people should be focused on. And obviously, the more people who hear about it, the more people who get involved, the further it's going to spread and the more difference can be made. And I think that's really powerful. So I decided that any way I could help you guys, if you just need a spare pair of hands, I would donate mine and hopefully be able to make some change.
Thank you, RarRar. And you've absolutely already had a great impact on the team. So really, really thankful, grateful to have you on board. Thank you for that.
Not at all. I was just going to say, some people have mentioned that they've had difficulties getting to learn the way around Discord, things like that. If anybody's struggling, you're welcome to drop me a DM, and if I can help, I will.
Lovely. Thank you so much. All right. I'm going to hand it over to Hubert. Hubert, want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Jeremy. So yeah, my name is Hubert. Currently attending the University of Connecticut. I've been a part of this community for about, let's say, 2 months or so. It's a great cause. I think it brings a good light onto NFTs. Not all NFTs are a scam. And my role here is kind of to just connect with my peers and try to bring UConn to the crypto Web3 world, because I definitely think it's going to be the future. Web3 is here to stay. And if I could, bring awareness and invite them to Proof of Good, which is where it's a good place to start, that would be excellent. And I also create TikTok videos. I have a small following, nothing crazy. And I'm hopefully just able to offer some of the expertise to the Proof of Good and see where we're going to go from there and spread the project as much as I can. So yeah, I'm looking forward to meeting you all within this next year. It's going to be a great ride.
Yes, indeed, my friend. Thank you, Hubert. And yeah, Hubert's doing a great job on our TikTok videos. Maybe actually you should put your link tree in your Discord profile, so as people are checking you out, they can kind of see some of your content and some of your fantastic work, Hubert.
Appreciate it. Will do.
Yeah. All right. Okay. And if there's anybody else in the community that would like to, give an introduction and, say hi, happy to give you guys a spotlight here. Just send me a DM or send Will a DM and we'll get you loaded up. But yeah, to respect time, we're going to just jump right into the workshop section. So if you guys see this link here, please do go to discourse.proofofgood.io. And you can actually sign up for free. It's very easy. You can also just sign up using Discord. So if you guys see my screen okay with Discourse? Just to make sure.
Yeah, no, I got you. See everything, bro.
All right, thank you. So yeah, you can create your own account, which is specific to this Discourse instance, or you can just log in with Discord. So since you're all here already, that could be an easier way to do it. It's very simple. You just click, you authorize, and then boom, you're pretty much good to go. We have read through the terms and conditions and privacy policies, so there's no specific danger with Discourse. So we hopefully save you some potential headache. But yeah, feel free, Crispy, if you want to correct me on that, if there's some new vulnerability. But yeah, to help navigate Discourse, it's really just a forum tool. So if you ever use things like Reddit or other random website forums, very same principles apply here. For the moment, there's a few key things if you want to start here. We do have just our basic ground rules on how you want to, or how we want to manage the quality of content that gets posted onto the forums. So we want to make sure that this is a civilized place for public discussion. So, try to, let's not attack each other or have too much judgment, and try to be as open-minded as possible and constructive. Try to make sure that you're bringing in new ideas to a discussion and, not necessarily shit posting, because this is a bit more about governance. And yeah, let's avoid name calling, attacks, knee-jerk reactions, and kind of emotional responses wherever you possibly can. And we are actually, I think one of the proposals I'm going to submit is seeing how we could actually reward participation and conversation. Just got to watch out how to avoid abuse there. But for sure, I think we really want to take conversations around the rules and the protocol to the forums. And ideally, we're going to put some rewards on top of that. And then please do be vigilant if there's bad actors, scammers, or, whatever problems, please post on Discord and, let the moderators know or the validators know what's going on, and we'll take care of it. Be civil, keep it tidy, and then post only your own stuff. I think those are kind of the basic ground rules here. So just trying to set the stage of the kind of culture we want to build into these forums. And let's see what else here. If you want to catch up on important information, we're posting it here too, but practically speaking, we do a lot of these announcements on Discord. So if you're pretty active in Discord, no problem, but it's just also to make sure people that only go to Discourse see that information. But here's the meat of it. It's really in this proposals. So the proposal section is very much about testing out your ideas because instead of actually, producing a proposal on chain, you want to make sure it's not going to like arrive dead or not be dead on arrival. So this allows you to get your early idea out and start to engage in conversation with the rest of the DAO and the community, try to build up some support, and then just make sure that, hey, you are able to rally around people that support this particular proposal, idea, nomination, rule change, whatever it may be. And at the moment, many things, not much is off the table. If there's anything that you want to modify on the white paper, you are probably going to have the privileges to at least make a proposal. So that means anything that's in the white paper and specifications today are subject to change as a result of the DAO. So I really want to emphasize this, that even though you don't have edit access to this Notion page, you will be able to say, okay, there's something in the DAO governance specifications that I think should change because, I think the DAO governors and their responsibilities, should include A, B, C, and we should remove D, E, F. That's actually within the realm of possibility. So these forums are a place for us to actually get into the details and the weeds and then reply back and create threads and then give that feedback to that original poster. Any questions about that? Hopefully it's pretty straightforward, like the function of Discourse and where it is in the steps in the process. So it's very much like test out your ideas before you make an official proposal on the actual DAO.
Let's get into it. People are excited.
Okay.
I was getting ready to say, bro, let's jump right. I'm ready for the the good stuff.
All right, cool. Yeah, the silence is deafening sometimes. Okay, so yeah, what I've listed out here for the agenda, we're going to go through a few proposals. The first one is, or first batch is actually nominations for POG oracles. So we're going to start with BOINC, then some of our partners, Unix Gaming, Yield Guild Games. I'm going to propose a new category to add to the good points taxonomy, and then also propose that we introduce good points earning for DAO governance participation. So those are the 5 proposals I'm going to go through today. So first one is BOINC. So I've got a POG Oracle nomination in place here. So for those who are not familiar with BOINC, it's a Berkeley Open Institute infrastructure for network computing. Essentially, what it means is you just donate your computing power, you leave an app running, and it contributes and crunches data for scientific research. And this includes things like studying climate change, discovering pulsars in space, investigating diseases. And this actually has produced a lot of incredible white papers and research that have accelerated solutions and, drugs that have helped to address childhood cancer and optimize desalination technology. So it's really an incredible project that we've actually been partnered with for over a year and a half. And I think, we've already had maybe, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, at least like over 300,000 computing hours already contributed to BOINC through the Leyline platform. So a lot of this is actually porting over BOINC from Leyline and becoming an official POG Oracle. So yeah, the formula is basically, okay, for every hour you donate computing power, you'll be earning good points. And I believe we're doing this on a fractional basis as well. But let's say you leave your computer running 24 hours a day, you can earn 240 good points maximum per day. And at the moment, or rather, the main rule and restriction is that you can only link one BOINC account to your POG account. So that way we don't have people gaming the system. But even if they attempt to do that, they'll still be capped at 240 good points. So what I'd love to hear is if there's any feedback. And actually, ideally, let's do this as a test to see if people are actually engaged. Can you hit like on this proposal, just so I know people have like signed up for Discourse and are actually on this thing? And it's just a good training for everybody to get used to like using. There you go. All right, cool. Somebody hit like. Yeah, it's working. People are listening. They're there. All right. So if you have questions, comments, please do go ahead and reply right into the forum. That totally works. And we're also going to set up a poll. So if you go to our poll section on Discord, Leah is actually going to be posting a poll to say yes or no, BOINC should be a POG Oracle. So again, this is just to get early sentiment, and then next week or week after, once we have the DAO Governance smart contracts, I'll submit the official proposal, and then y'all can vote with using your MetaMask wallets. All right. So the poll is coming up soon. Any questions?
I have another quick question for you.
All right, great. Yes.
When you're voting using your MetaMask, what's the average transaction fee going to be for voting? Do you have an idea?
I think, well, actually, all of this voting, we're not going to charge, or we're not going to, pass through any costs to individual voters. I think the only element where we're going to want, because like essentially, in order to cast a vote, you'll just need to have a POG pack. So you'll have to have an NFT or like a membership ID. So there's no charge specifically to vote, and I don't think we would introduce that. I do think potentially we would introduce a cost, so that way. Oh, thank you, Nico, for the comment. We would probably introduce a cost when it comes to submitting proposals. So that's where we probably leverage the governance token and have like an entry price there. For the moment, I think we're really in early experimentation mode, so we really want to just open it up as much as possible and not create any barriers to governance participation. But then as we start to get critical mass and like a lot of stuff is flooding in, it'll probably make sense to have some kind of pay gate to kind of make sure quality stuff gets in, and also to help fund the treasury.
Right, thanks.
Yep.
Jeremy, I have a quick question.
Mm-hmm.
Can you just give a quick overview of good points, please?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So in fact, on our white paper, we do have these definitions pretty clearly laid out, but I'll go here. So under POG protocol specifications, you can see the mechanics, and then good points is right over here. So I'll also link this in the live stream chat, so you guys have it for reference and can read along with me. And yeah, so essentially, good points are going to be ERC 721 tokens on the Polygon chain. To start off with, we'll probably have cross-chain compatibility later on. But essentially, you earn good points when an oracle validates, or a validator validates the good deed that you submitted or done through that organization. So the oracles play a really important role here, and currently that's what you're experiencing and seeing on Leyline. We're doing a lot of that manually. So the 721 tokens, these good points, it's essentially a score, but it also is a record of the details of the deed that you did. So it'll reference the actual oracle that validated it. It'll reference the activity, the category, the UN SDG goals that it aligned to, and then potentially any other additional evidence that was submitted. So if it was like a photo or a video or a receipt, there's the option for us to be able to link out to that. So that way there's like real tangible proof on chain for that good deed. So the 721 tokens are very interesting because it mixes a points value with actual other useful metadata. So the thing about good points is that you can only spend them to mint and level up POG NFTs or open up mystery boxes, which is something we currently have with Leyline. They are not meant to be traded for straight up cash or crypto. So you won't be trading them on exchanges or anything like that. And the main reason is that we don't want to kind of taint the good deed with just straight up cash. It's got to be much more about meaning and story and identity, and something that is unique to you that nobody can buy from you. I think that's the philosophy behind the good points. So yeah, essentially through these mechanisms, it becomes a really powerful source of truth for your reputation, your status, your passions and your interests, what you've been involved in. And it's open so that way any app across the metaverse can refer back to it and can build on top of that. So these are the current categories we currently have lined up to build out in the taxonomy, the different categories, which in your profile, we can actually visualize the data and say, okay, if you're really passionate about, governance and you've been doing a ton of like DAO support and DAO facilitation and educating other people, your profile would show, okay, you index really high on good points in these categories. So this helps to kind of create the right sense of story and identity and the categories of impact that you're focused on. So yeah, that's an overview of the good points. And again, this is all evolving stuff. So we're really open to
answer a question real quick.
Yeah, sure. Yep.
I'm just wondering, right? I feel like this is so lit, right? Because it's like you can't really I guess like take advantage of the system, right? Because if someone tries to like overly do like good things, that's not bad. So if you know what I mean, if they're trying to go out and get as many good points as possible from doing good deeds, it's not like, or is there a cap? I guess that would be a good question. Like, is there a limit to the good deeds? I wouldn't think that there is, but like, is there like a specific amount? Like, hey, you're like overly doing these things, or is it just like, do as much good as you possibly can and you will get points?
I would say in some aggregate, there wouldn't be any cap because I think human potential is unlimited for good.
Right?
It's true. But
I love it.
But I think what we will probably need to do is actually have caps and limitations like per oracle or per like grouping. These things I think we're going to have to discover as we start to see a lot more of that data. Partly just to make sure we're preventing abuse. Like that's the main thing to just be careful about. Like for example, we had to make these decisions around when we onboarded BOINC and started to earn good points. What was the philosophy or the values behind that? And essentially, it's like, okay, someone could spin up 10,000 computers and donate all the science, but then are we unfairly rewarding people that just have access to lots of capital to buy hardware? So we have to make like important judgment calls to put restrictions on or caps for what you can earn, just to make sure that there's like some equity and equal opportunity for a whole community. And I think it's also we had this really important philosophical conversation with the engineering team around monetary donations, because it's like if you make a monetary donation, we're going to categorize it as economic contribution. And realistically, if we have someone that just drops in $1 billion, it could like single-handedly render everyone else's good points worthless in comparison. So instead, if that happens, it's just pure money, there's at least this filter or categorization. So that way, yeah, maybe the economic category is like in the billions range. But if you really want to see like the legitimate, like real world participation, you can actually filter out the economic piece and look at other categories. So that's
that is lit. No, that is lit, bro. And I feel like yesterday in the room, the guy David kind of made some great points to which you definitely gave some great answers. And there will be people on one side of the spectrum where they may not understand very much about crypto and may just want to donate, monetarily. And there may be people who are just as uneducated, I guess, in the crypto world and NFTs, and may just want to do good deeds and still want to be rewarded or should be recorded for that. And I think it's dope that you don't really have to be, or if there was a way, you don't really have to necessarily be all the way into the savviness of what's happening on the blockchain. Eventually, we want to kind of get everybody to that point. But I think if there's a way that they don't necessarily have to, and we're just like increasing the amount of people that can contribute into the DAO.
Yeah, I completely agreed. And I think that's the way we tried to set it up, is that there's a pathway to have impact no matter what situation or status that you're in. So we didn't want to like say, okay, we don't want any big money people in here, because they can really do like amazing impact with the financial resources that they have. And so you can now imagine a world where, okay, we've got a lot of people that are coming in and earning and participating and building up their reputation, but we can also have someone that like has a lot of wealth that wants to do good with it, And there's a pathway for them to actually build that up. And now imagine a leaderboard of billionaires that's just like funneling money to social good, and it's like on chain. And now they're competing against each other around, hey, you know what? I would have had the best economic good score. Here's $1 billion to charity. Like, this is the kind of like incentives we want to create. Because right now, the status game for billionaires and super rich people is like, all right, I'm going to buy my yachts and I'm going to buy my islands and stuff like that. What if they had a new status game they could play, which is the amount of good that they can do that's traceable and impactful? I think that's the potential that we're trying to create here, or at least we need to create a foundation for that.
That, and if I can just throw in quickly, I think the idea that somebody could be really struggling in life financially in a disadvantaged area and still pouring their heart and soul into doing good in their community, that's what motivates me. That's the kind of effort I'd love to see rewarded.
Absolutely.
Another question for you, if I can.
Sure,
with volunteer activities, how will people verify that? You mentioned something about pictures, but when you're earning good points, so do people actually see the volunteer activities that you did, or are they just seeing, okay, I've earned 100 good points?
Actually, a couple of pathways there. One is a much more private way of submitting, and then a more public way. So I'm going to do another screen share just to get my full screen going. Can you guys see my Discord? Okay, great. So yeah, if you actually pop over to our Leyline Discord server, so Leyline is going to be one of the first POG oracles. Here, we basically have users already submitting their good acts. So this one is like purely photo and video evidence.
That was happening to me earlier as well. It took a few tries.
I see. So anyway, unfortunately, this stuff is not rendering, but what happens is that people are actually posting their videos or photos of their actual volunteer work or donations. And Elijah, one of our engineers, built out a bot that allows people to emote to help validate and support that. So we have our designated moderators and basically our POG validators that are scouring through all the submissions. They officially, thumbs up, which then enables others to emote on it and then also get a good point for supporting it. So that's a much more public way of surfacing the good you've done, which has its benefits. And, it's like great to kind of share that and inspire others. But there's also much more of a manual submission. So if you go to leyline.gg and you go to the do good section, you can actually just go ahead and submit your own proof, whether it's receipts or a letter from the organization you're at. So you basically pick your activity and you fill out the Google form, and then we have a manual process to assign the good points via backend tool. So this is how we've kind of managed things manually and kind of did a catch-all for anything that wasn't already accounted for in the protocol. And then as a lot of activity flows in, it'll trigger us to say, oh, you know what? There's this organization, a lot of our communities contributing there. We should reach out and set up a partnership and bring them on as a POG Oracle. So what we are building now is moving that all on chain, and we want it to actually be as automated as possible. So we'd set up APIs where those oracles can just automatically, write the data onto the ledger. And when it comes to, keeping that private, if you so desire, the main thing is in order for it to show up properly that your user account was connected to that active good, you'd have to make an account link. So there's always choice and option on whether or not you want to be publicly surfaced or not, or remain anonymous. We really do want to respect that privacy because there are a lot of people that prefer doing anonymous donations, for example.
Right.
So,
but as far as on chain, you would see, are you going to see the person's points?
Yes, correct. So the idea is that you're going to be setting up your own profile that will, store all of the, good deeds that you've done in history. So again, this is like proof of concept here, what we built out in Leyline of your NFTs, what it represents, your personal stats. And, we start off first with just the raw database, but then we can build all sorts of visualizations and connections into your profile. And that's something that would just be accessible by any Web3 app.
Perfect, thanks.
All right. Love the questions. Keep
Jeremy?
them coming. Yes.
Yeah, one follow-up question to that. Do you imagine on your profile page at one point that there is a form of history of what your recent activities were? Like to the point of you're claiming, or you just went to the beach and picked up a bunch of plastic, took a couple of photos, you posted it in the Leyline chat to get your good points. Do you imagine that at one point showing up on your profile as well? Of like, here's the most recent things that I did to earn good points, and like here are some associated pictures with it that I might be able to share somewhere else.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think like right now we've got the good points balance history. This is probably the kind of view we would have, basically as like a snapshot of the ledger or a filtered view of the ledger. And you can even see here specifically, it'll link back to that actual, event or the actual proof. So you have it available, for reference. Whoops, is this taking me to Discord? Here you go. Yeah, I think ultimately everything becomes traceable. So any act that you've actually done, whether tiny or massive, would actually just be on a ledger. And I think there's a lot of like really cool things we could do to play around with that, like, pin specific actions that you're proud of or have a specific badge or achievement tied to a certain activity. So yeah, I think profiles are going to be quite a powerful, compelling storytelling device and recognition function. But yeah, hope that answers your question, Oliver. And so good to see you, man. I'm so glad you're here.
Follow-up question. This is Amy. I don't know if, just for clarity, if the nonprofit that we're volunteering in is still not in your list, do we just put our good points on your Leyline account? Or how does that work?
Yeah, I think this would be our catch-all. So going to Leyline and then, filling out that form, and then you submit that. Basically, our moderators or validators are reviewing every single submission, approving it, but also it gives us like really useful data to understand, okay, these organizations are getting a lot of like volunteers, and there's like some interest from our community. Let's like set this up as an official Oracle. So I think it kind of starts off with, here's the catch-all, submit anything you guys like, organizations you're involved with, and then that's a way that we can start to build those bridges and relationships and then onboard them as oracles. And in the meantime, you'll still get the good points.
And I also wanted to ask again, because I think I forgot, how many days back can we submit? Like I just joined last week, I think, and I've been a volunteer for St. Vincent de Paul, like I said before, 7 years, but I'd like to know how far back can I go and submit? It's just a question.
Yeah, absolutely. If I recall correctly, it was 3 months. Chris, is that accurate? 3 months back?
Well, that's what we've discussed in the past, but certainly like anything else, that's open for refresh and debate.
For sure. So yes, Amy, please do go ahead and submit anything. We'll be happy to discuss that. And yes, if we want to expand the look back period or like the I don't know, like earning period, we could certainly stretch it past 3 months. And we can do that via a proposal. So if anyone would like to submit a proposal to change that rule, happy to put my vote against it. All right. So, yeah.
I think we had one more question, Jeremy.
Oh, yes. Was it crypto giving?
Someone tried to? Yeah, go ahead, man.
Okay, hey. So a little background about me. I'm a part of a social fraternity that does a lot of philanthropic work. I'm a part of Alpha Fraternity Incorporated. Started at basically historically Black colleges and universities. Now, starting a couple days ago, I'm trying to get my line brothers, starting with my line brothers, and then I go to my chapter level, and then actually to the actual fraternity level to try to get my organization involved in Proof of Good DAO. It's going to be small, but my main question is this. So we have different levels. Like I said, we have the entire organization, then we have chapters, and then we have actual individuals. If we join, how would that work? With the Proof of Good, what I'm trying to say, will the social impact be applied to just the individuals, or can it go to the chapters and the entire organization as well?
This is well, Gibby, that's fantastic, and that is wonderful. We'd love to, bring on your chapter. Doesn't matter if it's small or large. I think this is, again, open and permissionless. We want everybody to be able to participate. So thank you for pursuing that. And then if I recap the question correctly, it's basically when basically good points and NFTs are being earned, is it specific to the individuals in the org or the org itself? Did I catch the question correctly?
That's part of it, but that's part of it as well. So when we're going through, I know individuals will earn. That's guaranteed.
Mm-hmm.
But when it's happening, say our chapter organizes a philanthropic event, all individuals there, they're going to earn a good points. But also, will the chapter also be able to have this social impact? And the chapter also earns as well. So basically the chapter is own entity.
Yeah, completely. I think the way we set that up is the chapter would actually be a POG Oracle. And so the Oracle rewards are really centered around getting the POG token drops. So each month we do, a token drop out of the treasury going to each of the oracles proportional to the good deeds that they've validated onto the ledger. So I think that would be the main way we make sure that the organizations are getting that monetary reward on top of, when it's on the ledger, you can actually just filter down to say, hey, show me every single good deed from this particular oracle. So it's already showing that record of everything that your chapter has done. And then it builds like awareness and engagement, because we can now rally our community to participate. And even though it may be very local, it is an opportunity for that oracle to kind of build more of a following and awareness. But yeah, you bring up a good point, whether good points should be allocated to oracles themselves. I have not thought about that, to be honest. But yeah, let me process that. And yeah, open to suggestions there.
The reason I bring this up is because, like I said, our chapter does a lot. Sometimes we just do things individually, and then our chapter organizes events where our chapter members do volunteer work, and we also bring in the campus population to come in and also volunteer. And then you also may have the entire, the national organization, because we have tens of thousands of members in our organization. We may have an event where the organization may have an event where they invite the chapters per se. And a chapter, then it filters down to the individuals. You see, That's what I need to do. I need to try to, I need to know these questions, answers these questions, because when I present this to my organization, I'm going to start with my chapter, these are questions they're going to start asking.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think that it is possible. And, let me bring it up with the engineering team tonight to see how we want to kind of establish those entities. I mean, I think that the core essence is, do we want this basically tier for groups? So there's individuals and then there's groups that do good. Should the group entity have its own, theoretically you could spin up as like its own wallet, and it'll have its own identity. But yeah, there's a lot to discuss on that one. But you know what? Let's take this one offline, CryptoGary, and let me jam with you on an actual proposal for what that could look like, and let's run it by the engineering team. How's it sound?
I
right.
think this is Amy again. I want to piggyback on that because St. Vincent de Paul is a global organization, actually, not just in the US. And if this pulls through the way he's saying it, that could also benefit those organizations. Because once a year, we have what we call Walk for the Poor, and that's a global fundraising. And I was thinking if that is the case, then the chapters that are doing this can benefit from that application. And plus, in my region, and I know in nationwide or whatever, our Catholic schools, and I want to know how young can they join this, promotes volunteering. And in fact, we get volunteers from these schools volunteering in our food pantry and our soup kitchen. So I'd like to know how young can they join and earn good points.
This is a great question. I would say at the moment there is no age barrier to entry. The potential barrier we might need to introduce, it depends on regulation on how people are going to earn their assets. So to join is no issue. It's whether or not there's like some issue with the financial resources that you gain. It is a topic we have open for legal team and consultation to tackle, but don't have a super clear, concrete legal answer for that yet, Amy. But thank you for asking. We're totally going to chase this down.
And for
Thank
the two
you.
people who just asked those questions too, this is you're really onto something, because this is what we're talking about right now with these nominations and these Oracle nominations, right? So Jeremy, I think we can jump right back into the one with BOINC, but I love that the community is really engaging on this topic, because this is really what we're trying to empower you all to do. Is if you have these different organizations, you have these different volunteer groups that you want to see as oracles, you can propose that through the governance. So anyways, I'm really excited by the nature of the questions. It's really fun to see people kind of evolve as the DAO evolves week to week.
Totally. Yeah, I love it. Please do keep it coming. And which probably means we may not be able to get to every single one of these, but at least we're going to start to get the gist of it. So yeah, thank you for those questions. We're trying to work out some technical difficulties on the polls, but here's just a very simple manual solution. If you guys pop into the polls channel, we're going to throw up a rough poll, yes or no, whether or not these oracles get like your thumbs up, and if we're doing a good job representing these guys. So the second one I'm going to go through is actually another partner of ours, which is Unix Gaming. So Unix Gaming, they're a play-to-earn gaming guild, so they're Web3 guild. In fact, some of our core members here are from Unix Gaming, especially Leia, Amy, and who else? Yeah, there's a lot of folks that kind of flow in from Unix through our partnership. A few interesting things, like the reason why I really love connecting with these guys is that they're very focused on providing Axie scholarships and providing education to help a lot of people, particularly in the Philippines, to earn an income through play-to-earn gaming. So what we want to do is actually partner with them to also bring in proof of good as another set of activities where their community can also earn. So this is a really like fantastic partnership. They're coming close to 200,000 users on their Discord, and we are working on like a really nice set of like different integrations and promotions to start to cross-pollinate our communities. So the specific things that they do that could earn good points is, one, they provide quite a bit of educational workshops. In fact, they're training 30,000 people per week for free in their community. And so the proposal is for everybody that's in the Unix community that attends their educational workshops, they should get 100 good points. I think we can also do another thing, which is the mentors that are teaching should also earn 500 good points. In fact, I think that's probably something I should add here. Then they are also launching a DAO, which we are helping them to spin up. So I'm advising on a project. So as they participate in DAO governance, they would earn 10 good points for voting on a proposal, 50 good points for submitting a proposal, and if this proposal passes, you get 100 good points to just make sure there's a quality submission of proposal. So that's kind of the rough outline here, and very simple and straightforward. It's really focusing in on the fact that they are helping to educate and really bring in a lot of new people into Web3 and in giving them a fantastic opportunity to be a part of this thing. So that's a proposal for Unix gaming. You can check out their
Twitch,
Discord.
their Twitch has a great interview with our fearless leader Jeremy. If you all want to watch that on their Twitch channel, it's really informative. You get to know a little bit more about them as well.
True. Yeah, it was a good AMA actually, and I think the link is in the announcements channel. So feel free to check out the VOD. It's either on YouTube or Facebook and Twitch. Yeah. Okay, so that is the Unix gaming one. So feel free to reply with any comments, and then we have a post on our polls channel, so you can just get a sentiment analysis here. Overall, looks like we got some thumbs up, which is great. Okay, the other partnership, and I'm gonna call it here just for the sake of time, because you guys are getting the gist of it. But the other partnership we are teeing up is actually with Yield Guild Games. So this is another play to earn guild that is also a DAO. And what's interesting is that they're basically launching a campaign called Future of Work. And what they want to do is actually create these NFT achievements for, the type of in-game activities across different games. And you're going to essentially earn these badges and YGG tokens. And what they want to do is they also want bounties or, challenges that are based on real world good. So that's where we connected and they said, hey, you know what? Leyline is a perfect, fit for this to help us be a validator for those good deeds. So the model here is basically we would partner with YGG, and then as part of some of their challenges, it would actually just be all of the stuff that we are already validating through Leyline. So it becomes a nice cross promotion, and then we'll have a lot of the YGG community members come into the Leyline community and then farm the good deeds to get the NFTs. So that's kind of like stage one of that partnership. And then stage two is when we are live with a proof of good ledger, they would just onboard onto the POG ledger and then integrate it into their future of work campaigns where we're validating real world good. So that's the nature of the Yield Guild Games partnership. So in theory, they would be potentially an oracle because of the future of work, like incentives that they're helping to organize. So that's the third one to go through. This one is a bit of a unique beast. So open to adjustments here, and certainly going to want some discussion on this part. I'd love if someone could kind of nitpick whether or not this is the correct model. Okay, so anyway, if we could get a poll up for that one, Leia, that would be super helpful. And let me just catch up on any questions I would have missed on chat here. Okay, I see a question about workshop for future leaders in cryptocurrencies. Yeah, Flick. No, you don't need to sign up for it, Pineapple. I think we are working on figuring out the right schedule. I believe we're aiming for a workshop next week. So just to be super clear about this, we have a partnership as well with future leaders in cryptocurrencies. They're, a couple of high school entrepreneurs that are building out clubs across different high schools to help educate people on cryptocurrencies, DeFi, blockchain, and they're creating a lot of content and holding these workshops. So they want to partner with us as well and are happy to host a workshop, which is like Crypto 101. We also have this on polls. So I think we're going to try to schedule that sometime next week, and it might be multiple workshops. We'll post it on the events over here, and then just attend, and then you'll get your POAP drops and good points for being a part of the thing. So hope that answers your question there, Pineapple. Alrighty. By the way, it is time for POAP Drop. We are probably overdue for that. How are we doing POAPs this time around?
Hans will take care of it. Yeah, it's
Thank
has
you.
been instructed by Captain Elia, so we're good.
Okay, cool. So the instructions are just DM.
I know.
Well,
I'll run a bot. Then the bot will DM the members that are in the live stream voice call.
so we only have to be sure that everybody has the DMs enabled, and they will receive a message from us with the code, with the URL.
Okay, and in case anybody has trouble with the DMs,
we can.
you wanna?
Then
It's
they
okay.
can just book me or
I can
Hans,
DM them.
and
Yeah.
and we will send it manually. No problem.
All right. Okay. Everybody get those POAPs. We're gonna make them super valuable and useful over time. So now's a great time to start collecting them. And once you get 5 POAPs, you'll get on the good list and get your Genesis NFT drop this Friday. So try to rack them up while you can. Okay, so I guess last bit of it to kind of wrap up is just any feedback or questions. So one, I hope you guys have a better understanding of what Discourse is and how we're going to be using that. Please do sign up and feel free to go to town. If you have a proposal or an idea to submit, now's the time. You are free and empowered to do so. And it looks like some folks are already starting to do some cool stuff. So yeah, let's please do that. And then during the DAO halls, we'll make sure that we're going to kind of spotlight some of the more critical proposals that have been introduced that need some attention and discussion, and we'll walk through them. We'll have the original proposer also have a chance to speak up and present their case. So it's not just going to be me doing this all the time. I think we really want to empower anybody in the community to put forth any proposals that they want. This is really the venue to do that. So yeah, I mean, if you can, please do participate in the polls. And all right, cool. We got some approvals across the board, which is nice. So hopefully next week or potentially the week after, we're going to make all these proposals official, and then y'all are going to be able to vote with your wallets for free, and make that all come to life. And otherwise, any other feedback?
Jeremy, I have a quick question. Can you
Yes.
hear me? Mm-hmm. Yeah. I got a message from the bot, but it said to enable DMs from the server, but it's the Leyline server, not the POG server showed up in that. So do I need to go into the Leyline server to enable DMs?
Hello. Hi, Michaela. You
Hi.
can shoot it. Yeah, it's for POG server actually. I think Elijah forgot to edit that one, but I can actually see who the members are. DMs are off, so you can shoot me a DM, then I'll send you a code.
Okay, to Slim Mo. Is that? Wait, who
That's
do I send?
Han Solo.
Han Solo.
Okay.
All right, got it. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right, fantastic.
So can you just clarify, are the POAPs working? Mine's just pending. Is there something else we need to do?
Just refresh your page. This will happen to me.
Yeah,
and then lastly, can you quickly explain a little bit more about the drop on Friday and how to qualify for that?
Oh, yes, for sure. So we've written down the instructions under the How It Works channel. So I'll just pull that up here if you guys can see my screen. So there are going to be a number of ways that you can qualify and get on the good list. One is we are reserving a good chunk of the NFT drops for our Leyline alpha testers. So Leyline is the first POG Oracle, and if you've earned 1,000 good points there and have an alpha tester tag, basically linking your Discord to the Leyline website, you'll qualify and get on the good list so you can claim it. If you attend 5 DAO halls and get 5 POAPs, actually I think we'll do 5 any POG POAPs, maybe not only DAO halls, because we've done some other events too. So basically having 5 POAPs qualifies you to get on the good list. We also have a number of donors that have contributed that are going to be getting POG packs too, or if you're a team member or volunteer. And then finally, if you don't qualify for any of those, they'll all be available on OpenSea for secondary sales and trades. So that's the ways to start off. This is just the very beginning, though. We intend to be doing, quite a few different sets and NFT drops because, again, we want to make sure that as many people as possible can participate and get in on this. But we're just kind of doing slow rollouts and slow releases over time. But yeah, thanks for the question. It's an important reminder because there's a lot of new people here. The whole goal is we're trying to make sure that these Genesis NFT packs are super, super valuable and useful over time. So if you want to look at a comparative model, it's actually going to be something like CyberKongs, where CyberKongs basically does, regular drops of their token from their Genesis, Kongs, and those things are selling for $200,000, $300,000 a pop. So that's really the kind of target or not target, but rather that's how we're trying to set up these Genesis packs to be something extremely valuable. So as this community really grows, and then when we eventually launch the POG tokens, these are going to be some pretty hot items. So anyway, I hope you all are able to get your claim on Friday and be prepared for that.
So is there a link to the Leyline Discord on the POG DAO here?
Oh, actually, we didn't. I'll plug that in here for sure. But yeah, if someone could pop that into live stream now, and then I'll edit the Discord. All right, while I'm setting it up, other questions or clarifications?
I have a question. Can you hear me? This is Amy.
Go for it, Amy.
Yeah, on the POAP, because I'm just new, of course, but did the AMA with Unix issue the POAP, or that's not included?
Yeah, that was a POAP specifically for the Unix audience. And I think the way that they usually do it with their AMAs is they have a bit of like a contest where they have people submit questions and then they randomly choose the winners from the questions that were submitted. So we created a POAP to basically reward that community. I think normally the POG POAPs are going to be like the main community, sessions and meetings that we do for the POG DAO. But I imagine maybe it does apply to all the various oracles. I don't think we've created a concrete like guideline there, but Paco, maybe you have some thoughts around how we're going to do POAPs like with other partners.
Well, actually, we could set different categories for them, right? And over time, I think they will all get their own value, so to say. I guess for this initial round, I think we should really consider mostly those that take place on our venues, right? Those we do about our own activity. But that doesn't mean that over time we might not have rewards for those that have, for example, also followed us to all those other places and other AMA out there.
Yeah, so in essence, like, I think there's a lot of potential for what we can do with POAPs, how we drop them, what they get you, what they look like, how they're rewarded. So I think there's room for, new ideas and approaches here. So this could be a good challenge for our core team, our community marketing team to really work on. And probably like our NFT team as well, because they all kind of integrate and mix. So Paco, how about we bring that back to the various pods internally and see how we can come up with a good game plan.
Absolutely, yeah. Noted.
Sweet, thank you. All right, well, we got a lot of follow-ups today. Oof, got a ton of work ahead of us.
Jared, this is Amy again. Please warn your community that every time there's an NFT drop, that scammers are out there DMing everyone, because I've participated in a lot of initial drops, and they will tell you this is a pre-sale or whatever. So just be aware. Don't click on anything like that and report them as spam. So it will protect the community.
That's a great call. Thank you, Amy. Yeah, we should probably pair it up like in the announcements channels and just make sure to communicate. But yeah, totally. Everybody here, do pay attention. there's only going to be one way you can claim that POG Genesis pack, and it will be on our website on proofofgood.io. Outside of that, if anyone's DMing you and like pointing you to another link, that won't be the official one. And other than that, the other way to get it is going to be through secondary market sales, particularly like on OpenSea. So please do spread that word. And if anything pops in your DMs, you can also post on our general chat and just say, hey, there's some suspicious stuff happening, and we'll try to
and just in case
that.
anyone's new to on OpenSea, they also do scam. They put similar names and similar pricing. So we'll put official links to the OpenSea as well. So if you're unsure about the OpenSea link that you're going to, you can cross-reference it in the Discord. We'll make sure that there's readily available access to links that are safe.
Perfect. Thank you, Will. Okay, last bit, just I guess like final housekeeping. We are happy to bring on additional, volunteers and community members and DAO co-owners that want to just work on a project in whatever way possible. So one way we're starting to organize this is we basically have our quest board. And in the quest board, essentially the DAO Core Team is posting up various quests, tasks, projects, things basically we need help with. And each one of these quests is going to have different skill sets required to work on it. So here's an example. We're going to be updating the Leyline Do Good page because we're going to be onboarding womensday.org as another POG Oracle. And they are so excited, they want to move very fast. So it's almost like, how do we get them spun up manually? And if you have a certain set of skills, like whether it's design, UX, animation, admin, editorial, governance, blah, 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 basically anything you could think of, we want to basically be able to matchmake and pair up people with those skills and interests with specific projects and tasks that we can work on, and then get together with a different set of folks in the community to work together. So it's one way we're kind of organizing all the work that we're doing together and all the co-creation. So if you're interested in, becoming a volunteer, obviously you're going to get good points and, your POG packs. But there's a way that you can kind of come together and then be a part of, a team to work on some of these quests. So this is actually publicly available to browse through. And if there's anything that kind of matches your interests and skills, we'd love to get some support and help here. It's still very early days. We're working on, the onboarding process and how we organize ourselves and how we, deploy a lot of this stuff. But it's all open. We're all a big DAO and contribute in our own ways. So reach out if you want to participate. We do have a channel, Talent Recruitment, here. So we'll post up quests and other needs here.
We're really grateful that you're all here building with us. Excited to hear what people think about some of these proposals today. And we're going to be submitting some new ones as well. So I'll probably post some homework for people in the Discord to just check out some of these partner proposals that we're going to be doing. So that way in our next DAO Hall, you all can be a little bit versed in some of these orgs, so we can start talking about potential partnerships. And definitely encourage people that came today, if you have a potential partner that you want to be a POG Oracle, start putting a proposal together. Start writing like the pros that you think for them being a part of this coalition, and start getting yourselves in the mindset of, while Jeremy's doing these proposals for now, as a member of the DAO, you can also propose. So just something to think about, and really, really grateful for everyone who's come today and all the weeks in the past. We're just going to keep growing and keep building, and I'm grateful to say I'm a co-founder of this DAO with you all.
Hello, guys. Am I back?
You're back.
Oh my God.
Perfect
so
time, bro.
I tried to kill time until you got back.
Yes. I don't know where it got cut off. All right. So yeah, sorry guys, my Discord froze. So I wasn't sure how far I got into the whole quest board, but I linked it in the talent recruitment chat, and yeah, feel free to raise your hand and participate. But outside of that, again, thank you all so much. It's really amazing to see how many people we've already gathered here for this. Like, I hope it's been a good use of your time, and yeah, excited for Friday. So stick around. We're gonna do some cool stuff. Thank you all. Have an awesome day, awesome evening, fantastic week.
Thanks, Jeremy.
Love you all.
Thanks so much,
Bye.
man.
Thanks, Jeremy.
Appreciate it. Thank you, bro.
Appreciate it, everyone.
You guys.
Okay, thank you.
Good morning and good night.
Hey, Jeremy, if you're still there, could you DM me? I'll just DM
Yeah. 100%. Let's do it.
I'll say this too. Like today seemed like there was a lot of engagement, a lot of new voices.
Yeah.
So I hope we keep that
really,
up too, man.
really great meeting, y'all. Like really amazing. And we also do a bunch of spaces too as well. So if people are heavily on the Twitter community, feel free to tune in. We do Tuesday calls. We have mental health rooms that we do on Mondays and Wednesdays. Julio Slim and I got something in the works for you all. So we're everywhere. So if you are, spending your week and you're like, oh man, I missed the DAO family. We're probably somewhere on the social media spaces as well. So really,
yeah, and actually,
go ahead.
I think one thing we could do is for every time we're going to do like spaces like that, let's make sure we have an events item like set up on Discord with the link to it. So we'll, I think Discord is just really useful to kind of be the hub of, all right, if I check in on Monday, I should just be able to see what the heck is happening all week long, and then we'll have like the lineup of the events in place. So that way it's just super clear. If people need to know what's going on, they can just come right into Discord, see the announcements and see the events, and then they can kind of plan out their week.
That's a great idea. And just so people know, today we have rooms. So at 1 p.m. we have a community mental health room. If anyone wants to throw on their proof of good profile picture and come show support for the DAO, we're going to be talking about community mental health in Web3, NFTs, crypto, and DeFi world. And then Julio and I are doing something a little fun afterwards called Nerd Friends Talking, where we're just going to do like a social hour. So if anyone wants to just come and shoot the shit with us, we're just going to be holding space for mental health, holding space for positive vibes. And obviously there's always room for some proof of good promo. As I like to call myself, Don Chill. I would love to chill proof of good.
100%. Listen, no, everything Will said. Listen, I'll second it. We definitely we're going to be in a mental health room at 1 p.m. Pacific. It's 4 p.m. Eastern. And then after that room, if you want to just kind of wind down and then come in, kind of chill out with us, we'll have the Nerd Friends Talker room, the first of many Nerd Friends Talking chat. You can jump in and just talk some shit with us and vibe out. And it's
Jeremy,
definitely.
Are we gonna start the Thursday show this week, or are we doing that next week? You think?
Oh yeah,
I think probably next week.
Okay.
Got a lot going on, but yeah, let's aim for next week.
No doubt. Well, listen, y'all, we're gonna have a lot of new fun shows coming, so definitely come through today if you're free. And then on Tuesdays at 7 p.m. we're doing DAO talks. So we'll have all this in the schedule, but we're trying to have conversations where not only we talk about proof of good and explain what we're trying to do to a greater audience, but we're also trying to open the door to different DAOs. We spoke with Blockbuster DAO yesterday, which is really cool. Friends with one of the co-leads over there. They're trying to buy Blockbuster from Dish. And so I'm sure week to week we'll have some really fun DAOs stopping in. But Paco, did you say something? I saw your mic queuing up. Did you want to say something?
No, sorry. I have it active and possibly just hit it by mistake. I'm sorry.
Just like that, man. E2 Brutus.
Sorry.
Listen, y'all. No, just kidding. This has been amazing. Shout out to everybody that's still in here vibing. I'm really excited to be part of this community with you all and to be a part of the Proof of Good DAO. I wake up every day excited to learn more, and I just want to say to anyone who seems a little confused or if you're a little daunted by how much new information you're bringing, trust all of us are a little bit like it's a constant learning curve. So just, pace yourself. Rome wasn't built in a day, and neither was the blockchain. So we're going to grow together, and every week it's going to become more clear. And, by the time that we launch this thing, we're all going to be experts in building DAOs. So really exciting times. You all can put on your resume that you're co-founders of the Proof of Good DAO. So start letting your employers know. that you're prolific and you're amazing. And have a great rest of your day, y'all.
Totally. Thank you, Will. All right. Thank you all. Have a good one. Bye-bye.